Explain different kinds of assessments under Income Tax Act. Explain different kinds of assessments under Income Tax Act. Explain different kinds of assessments under Income Tax Act. So, assessment means determination of total taxable income of an assessee and tax payable thereon. Assessment can be made by the assessee or by the income tax department. So, number 1, assessment by the assessee. Assessment by the assessee. Assessment by the assessee. Every assessee has to assess his taxable income for the previous year relevant to the current assessment year. The assessment by the assessee is known as the self-assessment. It is known as self-assessment. So, every assessee has to assess his taxable income for the previous year relevant to current assessment year. This assessment by assessee is known as the self-assessment. Under self-assessment, number 1, self-assessment. Self-assessment under section 140 of A. 140 of self-assessment. Self-assessment section under section 140 of A. Every assessee is required to make his own assessment before filing the returns of income to the income tax department. It is obligatory on the part of assessee to determine his total income for the relevant previous year to the current assessment year and tax liability. According to section 140A, every person has to compute tax amount on his income by himself, which is known as self-assessment. The following procedure is to be adopted for the self-assessment. That is, number 1, compute the total income under each head of income. Compute income under each head of the income. And second one, compute total income. Third one, calculate tax amount, calculate tax amount. And next fourth one, add educational, add education cess and secondary and higher educational cess. Fifth one, deduct tax deducted at source and advance tax.
Hello.
Next, sixth one, add interest payable if any. Next, seventh one, pay the balance of tax through challan. Next, eighth one, wait for refund of tax if any. So these are the steps for self-assessment under section 140 of A. So assessment, the first explain the different kinds of assessment under Income Tax Act. Number 1 point is assessment by the assessee. Under assessment by the assessee means every assessee has to assess his taxable income for the previous year relevant to the current assessment year. This assessment by the assessee is known as self-assessment. Under the self-assessment section 140 of A, we have to calculate the following: compute to income under each head of income, compute total income, calculate tax amount, and next one, fourth one, add educational cess and the secondary higher educational cess, deduct tax deducted at source and advance tax, add interest payable if any. Next, pay the balance through the challan or challans. So next, eighth one, wait for refund of tax if any. Under this we have one important aspect is challans, self-assessment challans. If any tax or interest is applicable by the assessee after deducting the tax deducted at source, and advance tax paid from the total tax payable, the same is to be paid at the time of filing the returns. Through the self-assessment challan, where the assessee fails to submit the returns having tax due on income on other before the due date, the assessee is liable to pay simple his income on the before the due date. The assessee is liable to pay the simple interest at the rate of 1% per month or part of a month through the self-assessment challans. From the assessment year 2013-14, tax payable shall be determined after taking the credit of MAT. MAT means minimum alternative tax, or AMT, alternative minimum tax. So this is under first thing. So second point, assessment under assessee, and second point, provisional assessment. Provisional assessment. So as per the Income Tax Act any income tax officer may, after receipt of income tax return filed by the assessee under section 139, shall make a provisional assessment for the tax payable by the assessee. The assessment shall be made as per the returns filed and with the details furnished apart from the return. The provisional assessment shall take into account all allowances and any loss carried forward. Any payment made during the provisional assessment proceeding shall be treated as payment toward the regular assessment. In case of in final regular assessment order, any liability arises, assessee shall adjust the amount paid during the provisional assessment towards the final tax liability. Any excess shall be refunded and any adjustment shall be paid by the assessee. As per the Income Tax Act, there shall be no right of appeal against the provisional assessment. So this is for second one. And the third one, assessment by the department. Assessment by the department. Assessment by the department. On the basis of return of income submitted by the assessee of the assessing officer determines the tax liability, Income Tax Department processes the returns submitted by the taxpayer for accuracy, accuracy or genuine. In case of any discrepancies, the ITD send out the various assessment under the relevant sections as per the income tax law through the electronic or physical mode to the taxpayer, asking more details clarification on the income declared, investment and deductions, tax information, etc. The assessing officer examines the particulars furnished in the return and finalizes the tax liability of the assessee. The assessing officer adopts different methods of assessment in different situations. Main object of assessment by the department is to levy legitimate tax on the income of the assessee. Meanwhile, legitimate tax on the income of the assessee. The following are the different types of assessment adopted by the department. The following are: number 1, summary assessment. Summary assessment. Summary assessment. And next one, second one, regular assessment. Regular assessment. Third one, under regular assessment we have scrutiny assessment. Scrutiny assessment. And next one, best judgment assessment. Best judgment assessment. And next, third one, reassessment. And fourth one, fresh assessment. Summary assessment. This is as per section 143 subsection 143 section 143 subsection A subsection 1. subsection 1 as per Income Tax Act 1961 section 143 subsection 1. Under this method, the assessing officer will verify the particulars furnished in the return form. If any arithmetic errors in returns and incorrect claim, if such incorrect claim is apparent from any information in the returns, for example, if deductions under section 80C, disallowances of loss of claimed, if return of the previous year for which set of loss is claimed was furnished after the due dates specified under section 139 of A, 139 of subsection 1, disallowances of some expenditure indicated in the audit reports but not taken into account in computing the total income in the return. Disallowances of deduction claimed under section 10AA and 80IA to 80IE if the returns is furnished after the due date specified under section 139I, 139(1). Comparison of advanced tax, self-assessment tax and TDS appearing in the form 26 of AS or form 16A or form 16, which has not been included in computing the total income in return. After checking the above, the intimation is given to the assessee in writing or electronic mode. Under this method, assessing officer will send an intimation to the assessee if any amount is due to department wise tax or interest, etc., or if the amount is due to the assessee, that is refund of tax paid by the assessee, where no amount is payable or refundable, then the acknowledgement of the return shall be deemed to be intimation. The ITD, Income Tax Department, will consider the response sent by the assessee before making any adjustment. If the responses is not received within 30 days, then the relevant adjustment will be made. However, such adjustments are not made when there is no intimation sent to the taxpayer. If the assessing officer feels that the particulars submitted by the assessee in the return are complete and correct, it means the assessment is completed. The assessing officer, after verifying the facts and before the adding the assessment, shall give a reasonable opportunity to the assessee for his response. So that is called as the summary assessment. Next one, regular assessment. Regular assessment under section, this is under section 143 of 3, 143 of 3. When the assessing officer assesses the income after serving a notice to the assessee, it is known as regular assessment. Regular assessment is of two types: scrutiny assessment and best judgment assessment. Scrutiny assessment. When the assessing officer considered it necessary to verify the correctness of completedness of the returns, a notice under 143 subsection 2 will be issued either to attend the office or to produce the evidences in support of the particulars given in the returns from the returns on a particular date. The assessing officer issues the notice in the following circumstances. Number 1, underestimate of the income, overstatement of losses. When the investment in business increases substantially, large amount of personal loan are taken, the notice shall be issued within 6 months from the end of the financial year where the return is filed. After examining all the evidences and a explanation given by the assessee, assessing officer will pass the assessment order to the in writing determining the total income and tax payable thereon or refund any amount due to the assessee. This order is treated as regular assessment order. And next one is the best judgment assessment. Best judgment assessment section. This is under section 144. When the assessment is made by the assessing officer based on the assessment, when the assessment is based on the assessment, when the assessment is made by the assessing officer based on his judgment, it is known as best judgment assessment. In the following situation, assessing officer may adopt this method. When assessee has not filed the returns under section 139 subsection 1, when assessee failed to provide the details or comply with the notice under section 142 subsection 1, where the assessee is required to get his books of accounts audited under section 142 subsection 2a, but fails to do so, the assessment officer observes that the particular furnished in the returns of the incomplete and incorrect or no method of accounting is followed by the assessee. Assessee failed to comply with the notice issued by the department. The assessing officer has to give an opportunity to the assessee for explaining the points about the doubts raised by the department. When the assessee does not cooperate with the assessing officer, AO, the assessing officer has no option to assess the income tax and tax liability to the best his judgment. Under his assessment, refund order cannot be granted. If the assessee is not satisfied with the best judgment assessment, he has the right to file the application to the commissioner of the income tax department. Next one, third one is reassessment. Again assessment. Reassessment. This is under section 147 to 151. Reassessment means to determine the tax liability on the escaped income of the assessee. If the assessing officer has the sufficient reason to believe that the income of a previous year has been escaped from the assessment after the assessment is completed, he sends the demand notice to the pay additional tax. The tax must be paid by the assessee within 30 days from the date of notice issued. The assessee failed to pay the additional tax within 30 days, he will be charged 1% of interest per month. If the assessee fails to pay this also, penalty will be imposed. The penalty amount shall not exceed the tax. And next, fourth one is fresh assessment under section fresh assessment under under section 143 of subsection 2a. If assessment is cancelled or set aside under section 250 or 254, fresh assessment will be made. If the assessment is set aside either the deputy commissioner or appellate assistant commissioner, then only fresh assessment can be made. And next one, after fresh assessment, precautionary assessment. Precautionary assessment. Precautionary assessment. This assessment is applicable under the situations where there is no clarity on who received the income. To ensure the tax is paid by the same taxpayer, the assessing officer can commence the proceedings to find out who is responsible to pay the taxes to income tax department. And next one, e-assessment, electronic assessment, e-assessment, e-assessment, e-assessment. This is under section 143 of 3A. 143 of 3A. E-assessment means to ensure there is more transparency, accuracy and efficiency by eliminating the interface between the assessing officer and the assessee, optimizing utilization of the resources along with the technology through a team-based assessment. E-assessment program, a income tax department has launched the e-proceeding option where the tax officer conduct the assessment of scrutiny electronically. The CBDT has issued all relevant formats to conduct the scrutiny relating assessments through the e-proceedings options available on the income tax department on website. So these are the assessment methods.